the 12-petaled heart. So one process is put the ideal here and make it an idol. Am I clear? Because you cannot always read passages stating your ideal, but you can solidify it, just as the love to the country is solidified into the flag. The flag by itself has no meaning, but it is a murti, a idol of our ideal country. That is heart, that is mother. And sometimes if you are geometric enough in nature, instead of having all these figures, you can have that figure here. A very clear visualization of, and there you have the 4 chambers of the heart, the atrium and the ventricles. And you can go on meditating. And with that, you have another method, third method, the yoga of knowledge. And what are you supposed to do? You go to the 1000-petaled lotus. This is 12-petaled lotus, it is 1000, but you are not supposed to meditate on the brain, but above the brain. And it is at its top and summit that there is the direct communication with the supramental levels. Next slide. It is then possible to adopt a different and a more direct method, not to refer all our thought and action to the Lord's secret in the heart lotus. What is in the heart lotus? You refer your thought and get a adesha. Adesha means an order. You will get it. Now, Sri Aurobindo is giving you another method to bring down the supermind. What does he say? You meditate above the mind to receive all by a sort of descent from above, a descent of which we become not only spiritually but physically conscious. That is what you should try when you are meditating for this descent. You should not meditate with your brain. You should meditate with your subtle body, which is above mind. You understand what is the subtle body? Sukshma Sharira, Annamaya Purusha and Pranamaya Purusha. These are the 2 postures downwards. The Manomaya Purusha, the subtle body. The Vijnanamaya Purusha and the Anandamaya Purusha, the causal body. So you are allowing the causal body to come into the subtle body, and when it descends, you will understand by the way your body reacts. The best example why I always quote Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is, he is a bit nearer to us. He is not talking about supermind, he is talking about the mind. Whenever he used to sit in meditation, he used to feel that all these are locked. And when they themselves unlocked, he could come out of his meditation. That is the descent. That is what you should try. But it should not be the pains, and you say because you have rheumatic pains, you should say that you see my knee is also locked, so it is a supramental descent. No, it is a simple disease. You understand what I am telling? The pains will be there when this happens, but the pains will be temporarily for 1 day or 2 days, and later you will become very light and noble. You understand now this method? The heart meditation, mother's meditation. And the supramental descent, the lotus, the pranamaya purusha, the waters, and above it, the supramental sun's rays descending you from Sat Chit Ananda, descending into the physical, vital, and Annamaya. The lower triangle aspiring, the higher triangle descending. So this you can keep here, and this you can keep here. They are terrific yantras developed by him and she, so they have their value. You can develop a beautiful yantra yourself, but when I open a web page and I give my own password to it, however beautiful your password is, it can't be opened. You can open it with only this password or this password, this yantra or this yantra. Next. Just the brain must not be involved, he is saying. You should not think with the brain. You should try to think with something other than brain. Brain is Annamaya Purusha, part of Annamaya Purusha. And you are supposed to think with Pranamaya Purusha. So this is what I want you to advise you, that when you read these books, you try to be very clear about what you mean by Annamaya Purusha, what you mean by Pranamaya Purusha, and what we mean by Manomaya Purusha. And a Purusha means a body, and a body means you should be able to use it separately. When you are using the vital body, the mental body and the Annamaya body should not be involved. When you are using the Manomaya Purusha, the Pranamaya Purusha and the physical body must not be involved. You can practice it. That is the way of the three yogas. Karma Yoga for the physical body, Bhakti Yoga for the vital body, Knowledge Yoga, Jnana Yoga for the Manomaya body. Next. Then the fourth method is one. You are understanding what these methods are? You remember? Or you have forgotten already what methods we are talking about? The development of intuition. So the fourth method is one which suggests itself naturally to the developed intelligence and suits the thinking man. And who is a thinking man? We, the common men. This is to develop our intellect instead of eliminating it, and this is why you are to read these books. You develop the intellect, then you go to the higher intellect, then to the illumined intellect, and then to the intuition. The intellectual being too has to be taken up in the Shakti. The intellectual being too has to be taken up by the Shakti in the yoga and rise it to its fullest and most heightened powers. Because in an integral yoga, just by stilling it, the dynamic balance, you may go to the intuition. But when you go to that intuition, your higher mind is not developed. And if your higher mind is not developed, it is not an integral yoga. So for the development of the higher mind, reading books is the only way. Reading books means not novels. These books. Next. The widest natural action of the Shakti combines all these methods. It creates, sometimes at first, sometimes at some later, perhaps a later stage, the freedom of the spiritual silence. Next. The gradations of the supermind. You just skip through it slowly. Next. Next. These are the four powers, the gradation of the supermind. These four powers are the powers of the Brahmin, the Kshatriya, the Vaishya, and the Shudra. So when you call somebody a Shudra, what are you talking about him? You are talking him on the level of supermind, and you should be elated. But what if all my countrymen, instead of understanding it as a level of supermind, we are degrading it and we feel proud to be bracketed with some XYZ group because we get some materialistic benefits. Next. Now, the dangers where you can fall into. Intuition and intelligence almost look similar. So he is giving it where you are mistaken. A quick intelligence, an idea, may not be intuition. It may be a quick intelligence. An intuitive discrimination may be a reasoning intellect. An inspired action may be an imaginative intelligence. And an intuitive revelation may be purely mental, close, seizing and experience. And now you understand these three in the mental plane.